Hi, my name is Bernadette Shahin. I'm the Senior Applications Manager for Aeroqual based in Los Angeles, California. I came to work for Aeroqual because it's an innovative company that is forward-thinking and has built sensor technology that will make a difference in the marketplace. Aeroqual has done all the correct things in building sensor technology. We have a plug-and-play system, so one can develop and work with different technologies, different measurements very easily and seamlessly, and it's cloud-based, which makes it very simple to understand and get the information. I became aware of Aeroqual about 5 years ago. The South Coast Air Quality Management District was looking very closely at sensor technologies. I spoke to some of the people in charge at South Coast and said, you are going to have a big problem. Who is going to audit and be aware of what is good technology and bad technology? You're going to get all kinds of phone calls from citizens saying, you know, I have this great instrument and it's telling me I'm dying. And I said, but they aren't going to know why it works, what makes it work, and if it's even credible information. Aeroqual did all the right things so that sensor technology would give credible information to those out in the field using it. Air quality measurement equipment is extremely important today. The world has become a lot smaller. It's global now, so the whole world is concerned about air quality, not just in the United States. As a result of that, having equipment that can be put out in the marketplace that will more densely map air quality and yet have defensible data is extremely important. And that's something that Aeroqual has done a very good job at. They have built equipment that will be able to be deployed in the marketplace, that will be able to densely measure and give information to the public so they can make educated decisions and understand the risk when making those decisions. I grew up in the US when air pollution identification was in its infancy. The first massive air pollution disaster was Love Canal. I worked for the company responsible for Love Canal, that was Hooker Chemical, and grew up in Niagara Falls, New York. So I saw a lot of people that had serious health effects. They had cancers, they had asthma, many different diseases as a result of chemicals that leached into their home and caused them to be very ill. It was a massive cleanup, and from that I became very, very passionate to try to find ways to help identify and clean the air. The air monitoring stations in the United States and basically in California are quite a distance apart. So it doesn't take into account microclimates. Good examples of a microclimate is I live at the top of a hill. The temperature as I go from the top of the hill down could be 5 to 10 degrees cooler. The same thing happens with air pollution. If you live in the valley, you're going to be a lot more exposed than when you're on mountaintops. I can actually see the smog layer at times from where I live. So to map it so that it's more densely identified, you'll be able to know what is going on in your small little microclimate. It's important to me personally because I have children and I have a new grandchild, and I would like for the air quality to be good and it to be a legacy to go forward with good air quality for the kids as they grow up and not have to live in a bubble or live indoors because they can't go outside. In the future, I believe air monitoring is going to be a lot more densely mapped. You're going to see all kinds of air sensors and air quality monitoring stations throughout the world. You're going to have that information at your fingertips. It's going to be on phones. It's going to be everywhere. So people are going to be a lot more aware of the potential health effects if they go outside and decide to bike. Maybe it's not a good day to go biking or hiking. Maybe it's a better day to do indoor air activity, but you'll be aware of it, where today that's not really the case. In addition to mapping more closely, I think you're going to see a lot of wearable clothing and sensors that can be put on an individual so that you can go out biking and know as your air quality is changing from one location to another what's going on. I bring 40 years of environmental experience with me to Aeroqual. This experience is going to benefit the customer base simply because I've worked as a chemist on Superfund sites. I've worked as a project manager and a project supervisor. I've also sold total environmental solutions to my customers, and I've worked as an applications manager. When I take all of that experience, it allows me to provide solutions that are best suited for each individual application. That's going to benefit Aeroqual's customer base in the U.S. I'm proud to be in the air quality industry. It allows me to do my small part in helping to identify air quality issues. Identifying air quality issues is important for the general public to be aware of what actions to take.